Okay, welcome back, our beautiful people. This is Swiss But Facts podcast, where every story is a chapter of humanity. I am Shamasoma Emelento Megampini. Hashtag Tamatakile. You know the vibes. Bye.
And I am Lama Leke. Welcome you guys to our 11th episode. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. We see the numbers growing, we see the numbers rolling. Yeah. So just keep the ball rolling and tell others to subscribe, to like, and to comment. So today we have our guest, and she calls herself Kansani Tlaisi, but she's also known as Kansani in tech. We welcome you, Kansani.
Welcome.
How are you?
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, so thank you so much for honoring our invite. And we really appreciate your time because we know that you're a busy bunny, but you finally made time for us. So in just starting, just tell us a bit about Kansani Tlaisi. Who's Kansani Tlaisi? Where are you from? And yeah,
so I was born right here in Guyana, and most of my life has been between here and school. So I started my journey at Laerskool Kramatat, which is where I went to primary school.
Yeah.
I then got a scholarship and went to high school in Joburg. And after that, I moved to Cape Town to go and study computer science at UCT. And so I lived in Cape Town for a little bit after that, and I'm finally back home, actually.
Oh.
Wow. I work remotely, so I live at home with my family.
Back at home again.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you call yourself Kansani in tech because you did computer science. So
Yeah.
into technology, actually.
Yeah, so that's what I do. I work in the tech industry, so I am in love with everything tech.
Aww.
Yeah.
So what do you do in technology? Do you hack?
Ah!
And again, what inspired you to do tech?
So that's not exactly like what I do. I don't have. I'm a business analyst, which means that I basically design software. And what inspired me to go into tech, I just really fell in love with it. Like, I had an amazing IT teacher when I was in high school. She was literally the best human being ever. And so because of her, the love that she showed to us, her students, I just fell in love with her subject so much, and I really aced it. And I thought to myself, you know what?
Just carry on with it.
Let me just carry on with it. And that's where it really started for me.
Just to check in, for you to say that you did tech and then you are into everything IT and stuff, is it not a rare industry for women to be there, to be doing that kind of a thingy?
Yeah, I mean, you will still find yourself in rooms where you're the only black female, or, you're the only woman in the room. But I think, that's like if you see on social media, or maybe it's just my For You page, but like a lot of young women are actually in tech. It's an amazing thing. I mean, when I was in at varsity, you could see in the room that obviously you are outnumbered, but I don't know if that was just like in Cape Town or just like, what did the demographics look like in Cape Town. But I think it could be across the country. But I mean, I'm seeing a lot of young women taking part and gaining an interest. So a lot of the young women that I've spoken to recently are interested in tech.
Nice. That's very nice. It's good you guys are representing us there. So we just thought maybe just because sisters were getting into December and it's kind of like festive season. Yeah. People in December are spending, you guys. So we have a financial bunny, but actually, how you're into technology but you're also interested into
money.
How is that correlating?
I don't know where my interest in money started, but I think I can remember as far back as I can think, I've always been interested in business and in making money, not because of the money itself, but because of what you become when you're in pursuit of creating something of value that people are willing to pay you for. So I remember when I was a lot younger, I don't know if you guys remember, but there was a clinic, Akrametat. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Clinic, yes.
I don't know if you remember back in the day there was a clinic, and so a lot of people in the villages surrounding would go there, right? Do you remember those times where you bring a little book and the nurse would write a prescription on the book?
Yes.
So I remember a lot of people about to line for a very long time, right? And so I thought, so I thought of a business idea. I mean, I was really young at this point, and so I made these little booklets out of just paper I found, and I stapled the edges, and I made these booklets, and I'd go and sell it to them because and they wouldn't want to leave the queue to go back and fetch them. So I remember even like the very first time I was so afraid to make a sale, you know. So I made all these booklets, and my mom said you can go. She gave me permission to go, but I was so shy to approach people and be like, I'm selling these things. So I remember like the first ever sale I made, I was literally just standing there watching the people until one man said, "Are you selling?" And that's when, and then everybody started wanting to buy, and I sold out. And at the time, he was like, I hadn't even had the time to think about the price.
Yeah.
You know, so he was like, "How much is it?"
Just
and I was like, literally writing with my foot on the ground, like looking down. I'm like, R$5, and then he gave me R$5. I was like, yes, wow. R$5 is my price. So I was just so excited about the process of getting to make money. Like it was so exciting for me. So I think that's where the interest in finances started. And obviously as I grew older, I started learning about investing. You know, I started like getting an allowance. You know, like now my allowance, instead of getting it cash in the morning when I go to school, I was getting it, you know, in my bank account. You know, because my family went and opened my first bank account. I think I was like maybe 12 or 13. I think it's the age is 13. They opened a bank account, and so like that's where any money, I didn't want cash anymore. I was like, put it in my bank account. And so that's where really the interest in finances started. And like now obviously it's matured. I've learned a lot more. I earn more. So yeah, it has grown since then.
Well, it's good, hey? It's good to actually educate people, especially when people are still young, when kids are still young, and you actually educate them about saving and stuff. So let's just start here. What's your perspective about money? How do you perceive money? What is money to you?
For me, money is like a tool, right? It's a resource that you use to acquire things, right? So I don't place as much value on money as much as it is on what it can actually get for me. So I think of money in the same way I think of a pen or a pencil or paper, right? It's just a placeholder for value, right? So I don't attribute like emotions to when I think about money. It's just in the same way I think of, you know, I have a laptop and I have a keyboard. That's how I think of money. And I think for me, like, that sort of understanding of money was cemented by my mom, you guys. When I was like 12 years old or something like that, I remember asking my mom for something. I don't even remember what it was, you know, but I was like, you never buy me this thing. She's like, let me do an exercise, a practical exercise with you. She's like, here's my card. My mom started telling me how much she earns from a very young age, right? We had that open conversation. So I remember asking for something. I was like, but you never buy from me. She's like, okay, this month, when at the end of the month, we want to see if you can be a better steward of our finances than I am. Because you're saying I keep on not buying this for you, so I'm going to give you my card. So she gave me my card. She's like, we made a list. She's like, these are all the groceries we need to buy. These are all the policies we need to pay for. This is what we need to pay for. She's like, you're paying it. And I want you after that to see what's left over. So I remember that day, she was like, I'm not even going to take you there. You're going to go grocery shopping by yourself. So I remember, guys, I even like had the worst experience, right? Because you know, when it's payday, you buy pizza or you buy takeout. So after buying all the groceries on the list, and now I'm pushing a trolley, right? I go and buy pizza. I'm pushing a trolley to the taxi rank now. Remember, she said you are going by yourself. Guys, the pizza falls to the ground.
And you're all by yourself.
And I'm all by myself. And like people are watching me push this big trolley of groceries to the taxi rank. And like it's falling. I'm picking it up.
Like it's just
I didn't know what to do. It was just a mess. And from that lesson, when I got home, and she's like, you paid for all the policies. You saw how much is left over. You put some money into savings. Do you still think, Uguti, I'm not buying you whatever you do? I don't even remember what it was I wanted, right? Do you still think I'm not buying it because I don't want to, or I'm punishing you, or, you know? So I started thinking about money differently from then. And I started like, when I'd ask for things, right? It would be in advance, you know? Like I want us to save towards,
budget towards that thing.
Because when you're young, you're like, I need this new phone, or I need this new pair of shoes, and you're not really understanding the finances. So, but my mom introduced me to the world of money. You know, what actually happens. We need to pay policies, and this is why we need to pay these policies. You know, we need to put a little bit aside for savings. So my mom is very like adamant on making sure, even if she's having a bad month, right?
She's
saves.
covered.
She's saving.
Like savings is like expenses for her. She's like, this amount is going to savings, even if we're having a bad month, because her whole thinking about it is like, you always need to make sure that you're covered. If push comes to shove, you need to have, you know, there's a place that you need to go to where you've put a little money aside, you know, so that it's your safety net. So those that understanding of money has been instilled from a very young age. And I mean, that was the worst exercise she could have ever done to me. You know, because it just like woke me up to finances maybe too early.
And it's a good thing.
But it ended up being a good thing.
Because when we're kids, especially when you have a kid, they just look at you like you're this rich mama, you can afford anything.
Imagine.
Whenever they want something, you can just afford to buy it.
Just
It's so annoying.
They just name everything and just they want it here.
And like every day, mama, I want this, buy me this. Like, hello, where's the money, bruh? I'm gonna do that to my daughter.
You really have
to so demanding.
It's such a
good thing
to
do.
It is a beautiful thing.
So with all your background saying that your mother taught you how to save, how to pay expenses and everything, are you a person who plans for your money? Do you have budget every month? Or okay, this money goes to where, I do this, I what?
I used to have a very strict budget, and I think, to be honest with you, for a very long time I was a cheapskate, and I'm a recovering cheapskate.
Okay.
It is a disease.
Oh my god.
It is a serious disease. So I used to be like so detailed, you know, like I've always been a spreadsheet person. I am still a spreadsheet person, but I think I've loosened up a lot more, you know. And I think what has allowed me to loosen up a bit more is like I automate most things. So the very like the day I get my money, my income, I make sure that I put all the money where it needs to go, and whatever's left in my account is my spending money, so I don't really have to think about it hard, you know. I used to be like, oh my goodness, even the spending money is planned, but you know, it takes the joy out of life sometimes. It takes the joy out of life. So once the main things are covered, whatever is left, I
can spend it how you like.
I can just spend it.
That is me, bruh. My twin is a spender and I'm a saver.
Okay.
And she always tells me, bruh, money must work for you. You must not save money. And Pelamina, I can be starving while I have money. So my twin is not that person. Okay, logunona pizza and I have money in the water savings. She just go and spend it all. Okay, logun I don't just chow it for anything. It has to be something serious. I'm going in my savings and everything. So are you that kind of a person? Do you sometimes touch your savings just for Jane or hey, I'm broke? Or it's strictly for serious what?
I don't touch my savings for like pleasures,
kind of
you know, or like things for having fun, you know, because to be honest with you, I'm not someone who wants a lot of stuff, you know. I don't like stuff, you know. I don't like buying things for the sake of buying things. When I buy something, I want to think it through. I want to plan, even if it's like a nice handbag, you know, or you know, I want to make sure that I'm actually getting the most value for my money and planning ahead, and it's something that I really want, you know, because I have been, you know, through that phase where you're just buying stuff and then you, at the end of the day, you're like, I don't like any of this stuff.
Why do I buy this?
Why do I buy these things? So I really like, if it's like a purchase I'm about to make, I really put a lot of thought into it. And I will literally go into the store, look at it and be like, okay, I'll buy it in a week's time. If within that week's time, I still want it, in actual fact, I really want to get it. But otherwise, because if you're just like at the shop, and you're like just buying, you'll end up buying the whole store. And you get home and you're like, I actually don't like that.
And it's actually like that, hey? So a lot of people just have to, it goes with discipline actually.
Exactly.
Just control your money, what you want and what you don't like. So now it's towards festive season. I can say most of the people, they're only left with like maybe one salary or two maybe paychecks before Christmas now. And maybe it's kind of like too late to invest or like maybe budget or like save for Christmas.
Or have this kind of conversation.
Yes, understand. Maybe, but there's still like some grace period somewhere there. So what's your best advice when it comes to December? Maybe people wanting to know. Because after December, there's January, guys. And you know, January, people are going back to work. My guys, they have to go back.
People want to go to school,
back to school. A lot of things that requires money.
Yeah.
And in December, like, you're just spending over food and drinks that are just gonna perish.
Just for fun.
Yeah. So what's the advice on how can one budget when it comes to December? How can one prepare to spend wisely? Not just spending, but spending wisely in December.
I think, you know, how you structure your December finances really has to do with, you know, your circumstances, right? Some people have responsibilities, they have kids, they have school fees to pay for in January, there's uniform to buy.
Yeah.
So for those people, right, if you are the type of personality that really, if money is sitting, it's really, you really probably need to pay things ahead, right?
True.
So rather pay that rent
work,
for January, right? And rather pay that school fees in Jan, rather buy that uniform or give Gogo the money to keep on the side, right? Okay, uniform in January. But for me, this is how my December income is to be spent.
Oh my God.
That's how I've been saving the entire year.
Okay.
December is time to enjoy. That is how I give myself grace in December.
Yeah.
Nothing is going into savings because I've saved the entire year.
Yeah.
I like to have a good December. I love to have a good December. I love to have, even more specifically, I love to go on holiday in Jan. So my December income is for holiday in Jan.
Really?
It's for enjoyment. It's for thanking Zimba that has been working the entire year.
Yes.
I'm like, this is your money, you thanking yourself.
But why holiday in January, not December?
Because it's cheaper in Jan. And there are no people.
And
You think
besides,
December?
I think I would also prefer January because
Yeah.
But the vibe, guys, there are no people.
Sometimes you just want to relax. It depends on what type of holiday you want to have, right?
Okay.
I need to value you on Christmas Day, or you know, you spend time with family. There will be a lot of people, or maybe there are those events. Maybe like the 26th, you attend social events where there are people. But when you're on holiday, you want to go for a massage. And you want to go on a boat. You want to relax. You want to go on a boat cruise. You want to do wholesome things. And then you're thinking about your year. You're like, you're doing your vision board. You're like thinking, planning ahead, putting your goals on paper. So I want a slow holiday in Jan. I really want to like a very relaxed.
Okay.
Safari vibe.
Yeah.
As much as you're saying, December, it's your spending era.
Yes.
Dun. I think I made a video earlier on. Okay, if you are someone who needs to work on a budget, you don't know how to do all those things. So let's say there's someone who's watching, they don't know how to budget their money. There's someone who doesn't know how to stick to their budget.
Yes.
They don't know how to amandondon. So can you please best advise them this December?
How can they do it?
Yeah, so like most people get their bonuses in December, so it's a really, you have a bit of extra income in some cases, so you can really put that extra income aside. Like I said, you can pay for things ahead of time. If you know you're not the type of person who is if you know you're gonna spend rent money, rather pay
in advance.
Right, rather put that extra money aside or give it to someone else to hold for you.
Yes.
Rather stock your fridge up. You know you're gonna finish grocery money and you're gonna be hungry in January. Rather stock it up. So make sure that the basics are paid for. For me, I always say to people like, just make sure you have money to go to work. If you drive to work or if you take a taxi to work, just make sure that you can live in January. You don't need fancy things. No, just make sure you can live. Just once the basics are covered, everything else will fall into place. If you have food, if you have shelter, if you can get to work, you're sorted. So for that person, I'd say if you're gonna have a bonus, pretend you don't have a bonus. Spend your salary. Pay for January ahead of time. Pay for everything that you need to pay for. Buy extra stuff. You know what I really love for my January, when in December I plan for my January, I love to buy things bulk in Jan, right? So toiletries, all those things that like I know I'm gonna use. I know I'm gonna use toothpaste every day, 365. So I don't want to buy toothpaste. Just you want one.
That's me.
I don't buy toothpaste. You want, like, to me, it's like my sister, you know, you brush your teeth everything.
Yeah.
You don't have to run out.
You don't have to run out. I hate running out, guys.
And actually,
I hate it as well.
And buying things in bulk, it's cheaper, hey?
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
I remember Namina last year, I think, okay, they could end of November last year, I had a contract line. I had bought things in bulk. Last time I was but then in December I bought a lot of things, and to tell you the truth, in March this year.
Wow.
That's when it was sharing, because I didn't have any money to top my things up.
Yeah.
But then I made a plan along the way. December, so in March.
Yes.
So I love buying in bulk because it gives me rest in between.
And you know how long January is, so you save when you buy things in bulk, because January is so long and you will run out somewhere around the 15th.
Exactly.
Yeah, and the really cool thing about Jan, right? Because a lot of people don't have money, right?
Yeah.
Things are just cheaper. I don't know if it's just has been my experience, right? But things
cheaper
things are
like
cheaper.
that.
There are a lot of sales.
True.
In Jan, there are a lot of sales.
Mm-hmm.
So I buy things in bulk, and I know how much soap I use in a year. I calculate that.
You guys know?
I know how much soap I use per year.
No, but you guys are lying.
I swear.
How do you guys know?
It's just that we cannot name brands, but then I
I
was just going to tell you, bruh, this is how it is. I thought I was the only one.
Unless you don't share soap with
point.
the rest of your family. Maybe it's like a face soap.
I
and the
use my
whole
own
body
things.
soap.
I don't share with the rest of the family.
Yeah, I also don't.
I don't know.
But you know what? How I overcome that? Yeah.
I met my twin to know.
Yeah, I also don't share.
Because my
I also
twin is
don't
not
share.
like this. She shares with everyone in the house. No, I don't.
And you use your own things. So you guys know that
my own
soap.
toothpaste, my own soap, everything. I should be munching.
What?
And it's a bad thing.
How do you guys do
Yeah,
that?
I'm
Like
just
you live
like
with
that.
people, so how come you don't
You know
share
how
things with people?
for me, right? This is what I do, right? So when I know there's a sale maybe on soap, right?
Okay.
This is like a basic example. I actually did it in Jan.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I remember soap. A bar of soap nowadays is like 18 rand.
Yeah.
If you go to the shop right now, it's like 18 rand for
Yeah.
one bar of soap. Maybe if you're lucky, 16 rand.
Yeah.
I bought soap for 11 rand a bar in January. How much savings have I made, right?
Yeah.
But instead of just buying, because I know maybe let's say I use 20 bars of soap a year. Let's just say, for example,
Yeah.
I then go to my family and be like, guys, I know you're gonna come and want my soap. So let's put our cents together and go and buy a whole trolley full of soap. So you won't ever see me like, you will see me in the shop only with soap in my trolley, because that's the cheapest thing at that time. So throughout January, I'm just waiting for a sale. Marty soap, I stock up soap. Marty, lotion. It's lotion. So the first few weeks of Jan, I'm bulking. Yeah, I'm just buying things in bulk.
The way
That's a good thing.
The way I'm so ignorant when it comes to sales.
I live for a good sale.
Oh,
You know, I live, guys, and also I think my whole family has now caught on to it. So like when I ask, I'm like, guys, I'm buying soap tomorrow. Gather your 200.
Let's go.
Because what's gonna end up happening, even if I buy things in bulk, someone is gonna be like in the morning, I'm out of soap. Can you give me soap?
Exactly.
And it's now putting in a shortage. So I make sure everyone in the house contributes. And everyone has their own. So I calculate, this one doesn't use soap a lot, so they'll get 10 bars.
Yeah.
I distribute. Like I'm gonna stop off and now I come so that's how I sort of handle that.
Maybe I should learn that as well. The way I'm still ignorant when it comes to sales, whether there's sale
Also,
or nothing,
buying things
whether
in
I
bulk.
just buy.
Buying
Whether
things in bulk
anything,
as well.
whether that thing is on sale, as long as I need that thing, I just buy. Whether it's expensive or what, I'm so ignorant, and I don't even tell the difference. And then mom, especially my mom, but I'm going to shop, like, what the fuck? What's the difference?
Yeah, guys, I will check the price. And why, you can feel the effect of a sale because you're buying in bulk. So instead of just like, it's just a 2 rand saving. But if it's 2 rand times 100 bars, you're like, hey,
how many
this is 200 rand.
Yeah.
You get what I'm trying to say? I can use this 200 rand and buy something else.
Yeah, well, that one, it is expensive. So let's come on credit. Cause maybe let me just start there. What's your view on credit? Would you advise someone to take credit, to take things on credit?
So I am a lover of credit.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, wait.
Okay. How
before
does
we
it
start
work?
this,
Like,
sisters, do you recommend skoled or not?
I don't.
You don't recommend
You
skoled,
don't.
Squid nice chava.
Okay.
Like with everything in me, nice chava squid.
Yeah.
Must talk about nice chava nagaku. I think okay, let's say nenda squid someone nkombela 500 kangu, number 500 kangu.
Yeah.
Thinking okay, did 13 tagma 1000.
Yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, from that 1000 already, I'm 500 short. That's my problem. Like, yo, I don't want to have money and then I have to take it there and there. I rather, no, I need slash credit.
Okay, so let's hear our Ken's view on skoled. What's your
please
view,
tell us
Ken's,
about
on skoled?
that.
And would you recommend someone to have skoled and why?
Yeah. So it depends on what. I'm not just saying people must go by
Yeah.
Watch on his scene.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
hear me and hear me well. Hear me and hear me well. But
Yeah.
I do, especially for us young professionals, right? I think the big thing, logo, you don't know about money. Usually it's in a negative sense. So credit is like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But you know, our parents will advise us stay away from credit, but it's without context, right? It's because credit, when mismanaged, will manage you.
Okay.
Wow.
So when credit is well managed, credit is a powerful thing. It's a good thing.
Okay.
Right? Because if we really think about it, right, wealth is built on credit.
On credit,
Yeah.
yes.
So all the very wealthy people that you see around, it's because they understand the power of credit, and they're making use of credit. So credit shouldn't be something that we fear.
Yeah.
So it's something that it's important. You know, you want to build a credit score, right?
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be important for when you want to buy a house. Because you're not gonna put R1 million on a house. Even if I had 1 million rand.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put it all in a house.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'd rather, there's so many ways to invest that money, possibly, you know. I wouldn't just like buy a house cash, even if I had the money to buy like million rand. So credit is like such a powerful thing if it's well used. I really encourage people to get a smaller kind of credit, even if you're maybe still a student and you can do it. Like your parents already maybe buy you your December clothes, your Christmas clothes, because it's now Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, instead of them paying for it cash, ask them, okay, how about I take it on a credit and you pay it off, you know, for me in shorter periods. And I think that's how our counterparts beat us, you know, when it comes to you know, now when you become a professional and you want to buy a car and you want to buy a house, because they've started building their credit score from a very young age. I was on a Jammy, right? So the Jammy is the UCT shuttle, right? And I was just overhearing a conversation, and it's these like white guys, and they're having a conversation about how their parents give them their allowances. Okay. And they're like, my parents, one of the guys was like, his parents put him on payroll. Right, so it's like as if he's earning a salary. So that's how he gets his allowance.
Before he even gets a job.
Yeah, so he's still a student at university, but his parents have put him on payroll.
Yeah.
Right, and that's how they pay him his allowance, right? And what that does is that he can now go to a store and open an account, because there is like a clear record of money being paid in on a certain at a regular intervals. You know how they say bring your 6 months bank statement or your 3 months bank statement. He already has that record. So from the time he's at varsity, he's building a credit score. When you want to finish a whole degree, then only when you get a job, now you want to think about I must open an account.
For me.
Do you get what I'm trying
to say? Like, yeah, for me.
So that's how they beat us in the game of finances, because you know, your credit score, a huge contributing factor to it is also the longevity of some of your accounts. So the fact that he's had an account from the time when he was in first year, when you're only starting your first account 4 years later or 5 years later, you're already 4 years or 5 years behind in terms of your credit score. So I think it's a very powerful thing if well managed. Obviously, don't take more credit than you can actually handle. But make use of credit. I highly support it.
It means I'll go and change my life.
Because this one, she's even scared of doing like a time advance.
Like
the way she's scared of
I don't like a time advance though.
Thank you. I'm not alone.
let me tell you why. Because I don't know, like we're not there yet where it can actually contribute to your credit score. But if there is no benefit actually to gaining that credit, what is the point of getting the credit? Like yeah, I don't like it.
No, okay. But okay, I understand your point when it comes to credit and stuff. Well, I think credit works in terms of maybe boosting your credit score and stuff. But you know, with credit, guys, you always pay more than you're supposed to pay.
Yeah.
That's one thing about credit. So if you're supposed to pay 12,000 and now you're starting to pay some, you end up paying 16,000 also.
Yeah.
So maybe because after that conversation that we had when we were going to Joburg about the credit stuff, I went and did a research now. So yes, I found that credit is good. There's good debt and bad debt, which yes, it can contribute to a lot of stuff. It's good. But I think it's only good when it comes to when you have knowledge of it, not just doing credit because
and but I will still that there's a whole lot of us. So far, I didn't know this aspect of the good part of credit.
Yeah.
So I didn't know. That's why so for you to have enlightened me about okay, there's a good part of it, there's a bad part of it, and then I think social media, take an iPhone and stuff.
No, but when I still don't stand with Kenzie, guys.
Yeah, guys,
I think she put it in a very good light for me to say, okay, I think I need it for a later stage in life. Let's say I want to buy a car, and then they'll be like, we want to check your records. How do you pay your what? And they'll be like, how
will you know we're gonna afford this?
Exactly. I think credit is such a powerful way to empower yourself, right? And I think you shouldn't buy things on credit that don't bring value to your life, right? So don't take credit because credit is being offered, right? So take credit on the things that bring value to your life, and things that bring value to a person's life can be different from person to person, right? So if you're gonna say, I'm gonna take an iPhone on credit, right? For someone, it's maybe like, oh, I just wanna have an iPhone. It's like a fashion statement.
Yeah, like a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle thing, right? But for someone else, taking an iPhone could be, I want to start shooting quality content, and this quality content can actually build more income for me. So in that way, you didn't have the 20,000 rand to go and buy an iPhone. But now you've accessed that 20,000 rand through the power of credit, and now you're making 40,000 rand. You've doubled, the value you're deriving from that, but you didn't even have to pay a cent for it from the get-go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
That's good dad. That's good dad right there. That's because when I was doing my research, and when I was about Kiyosaki, there's good dad and there's bad dad. So imagine if maybe it works mostly in real estate kind of thing. Maybe someone is selling a house for like 12 million and in your bank, and you go borrow 12 million. I mean, you're not gonna borrow that 12 million without having a good record. Maybe people are gonna get a credit score. Well, that is good for building your credit score. Maybe what I'm saying is, what you're saying, the 12 million, you go make a debt, 12 million, and then you go buy that house. Maybe buy that house for like 15 million. Which is for 12 million, then the rest belongs to you without using your money. So that's good debt. And I can agree to that in that term. But you pay later because you end up paying more. I don't like that.
You do end up paying more, right?
I rather pay
but then
cash.
there are times where credit makes so much sense, right? Let's say you are now in your 50s, right? We can just any age, right? You want to buy a house for your family, right? And you, let's say, have 1 million rand, and you have this 1 million rand in cash, right?
Okay.
And you have 1 million rand, and you could either take the 1 million rand and buy the house, or you could take the house on credit, put on a small deposit, and take the 1 million rand and do other things. So you could either invest that money in a different business, or you could take that money and take your family on holiday or whatever. 20 years later, right, you could if you decide to take all that 1 million rand and put it in a house, 10 years later you only have the house. But if you put down a deposit of say 200,000 rand and you pay it off, right, 20 years later you have paid off the house, but you also have the experiences or the business that you've started from the remainder of the amount. So it's just like how you plan your finances. So because if you're gonna do everything from the capital that you have yourself, right, which when you're starting out is probably advisable, right, if you want to start a business, because you don't want to start a business on credit if it's your first business. But if you think about planning your entire life and things like a house, a bond, whatever, it probably makes more sense, depending on your circumstances, to take it on credit, because the rest of that money is going to allow you to do other things.
It makes sense. I can say I partially agree with the credit part, But any chance I get a chance to buy things cash, I'm definitely going for cash. I'm sorry, but
That's
yeah.
you, my sister.
But on that terms, the way you explain it, yes, I think it's good and it's it's good. Even the system that we're living on, no matter why are we living on a system that they advise and advocate for credit? Why?
Yeah.
Why is it like that? Why can't we be promoted or advocate for like cash? Buy things cash, get your name clean. You don't have to qualify for a credit score. You don't have to qualify for loan. Just there and there.
The thing to understand, right, about money and how you manage it is it has a lot to do with your personality. And I think it's better to play to what makes you feel secure. If you find, cash working for you, right, go with cash, right? Because there's nothing like listening to someone give you advice.
That's how I do it.
And then, and then you jump, and then it actually, inside, if you're panicking because you have credit, it just has to do with your personality. And you may get to a point later where you're like, actually, I want to try credit now because I'm feeling more comfortable in my finances. But really, money is more about really take care of your emotions.
Take care of your emotions.
Take care of your emotions. Because if you don't, right, you're gonna end up making mistakes, because now you took that housing on credit, but like now you can't even sleep in that house.
You don't have peace.
Yeah, because you don't have peace, right? It's all about educating yourself and moving forward, but also not throwing yourself in the deep end entirely. Do it in small ways. So you can start, building your credit score in small ways by saying, okay, I know that I buy clothes every month or, every December. So I'm going to take them on credit but pay it off in 3 months. Okay. Or I'm going to take it on credit and pay it off immediately. Whatever sort of works for you to build up the resilience to have credit and not feel like your life is crumbling, I think it's like a great way to start.
Yeah. At the end of the day, okay, what works for me might not work for you. So if you are good in managing your credits and everything, and then I am not there, I cannot force when I'm not that person. So okay, this works for me and I'm fine with it. That works for you and you are fine with it. I don't have to copy. I don't have to be like you for me to feel complete.
Yeah, also what's important, I think it's good if people just educate themselves. Because the credit thing can work. As long as it's a good debt, it can work. Yes. I'm also educating myself on that. I'll put it out because I just realized that if you are well educated and well literate about this thing and you follow the good debt kind of thing, you can find yourself having a lot of assets and not using your own money. That's the one advantage that I've got on doing my research. So when it comes to you, how important is it for people to diversify their portfolio, or maybe just to put this in simple terms, how can one invest or save in different fields or stuff, whatever?
So first and foremost, I really encourage absolutely anyone, to get a financial advisor. I have a financial advisor and we meet maybe quarterly or monthly depending on the period that I'm going through to plan my finances, right? Because you need to plan your finances with a professional, right? So they are more knowledgeable about which shares to buy, which stocks to buy, how to invest your money, right? And so they will help you plan your finances from a knowledgeable perspective, right? And that's where the diversification comes in, right? And you don't want to if you're not very well informed about those sort of things, you don't want to go out and do it on your own. You need professional advice, right? Because you're going to end up making a lot of unnecessary mistakes. So, and it's not something that's expensive, right? Because we always think of, financial advisors being for people who have a lot of money. But I really believe if you see yourself as someone who wants to be wealthy, you need to start building the habits of the wealthy people while you don't have much, right? So something like getting yourself a financial advisor when you don't have a lot of money, it's you building the habits that you will need later, where you will need someone to help you invest your money. So in terms of diversifying, I really truly believe in investing in a lot of different things. Because how they say, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
No, you don't want to do that.
Because if you drop the basket, all the eggs are cracking, right? And now you have no eggs. So it just makes sense to diversify and put your money in different places. It helps you also have a sense of security. To know, actually, if something happens, I'll be able to pull my money from there, or I'll be able to, get that resource. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe let's just talk on like a general average person. This person doesn't have businesses. This person is just having like one single job. Maybe their take home is like 18,000. How best? Maybe someone who lives in Guyana, no much expenses. Maybe they work from home to town. That's the scale of like driving and petrol and stuff. They have maybe a few expenses, just like maybe a person of our age, let me just put it like that.
Yeah.
How can you advise that person to put their finances well managed together?
Okay, so the very initial conversation that I had with my financial advisor, right, is that number one, you need to plan for retirement, right? So you have to have a portion of all your income going into retirement, right? Because we know the state of the country. You don't want to have to rely on, the government, when you pass retirement age, or you don't want to have to be in a situation to end up having to work forever. Yeah, right? So you need to really start thinking about your retirement. And I always tell people, right, like, think about your retirement, right? It seems so far away. But 30 years, 40 years, let's be realistic, guys. Like it goes by so quickly. It goes by so quickly. Soon we'll be sitting like this, and we'll be like in our 50s, and we're like, guys, what happened?
What happened?
Like, where's the time gone? Where has time gone? So really thinking about your retirement is something that's important. And I encourage people, like, if you feel like, oh my goodness, I don't have a lot to put, just put 100 rand a month. 100 rand a month, I think for me, like, even if it's like, if you can afford more, put more, but even for me, I put money towards my retirement, right? So we have retirement, and obviously to supplement my retirement, I also have something called a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account. So what that does is, like, it's an incentive by government where you can sort of invest money, and any profits from whatever you've invested will not be taxed, right? So it's just a way for government to encourage people to save. So now there is a maximum per year. You can only contribute, I think it's 36,000 rand, and per lifetime you can only contribute 500,000 rand. So I put money towards that as well, because I want to supplement my retirement annuity. So I have a retirement annuity. Now we have a TFSA, right?
Yes.
And then you want to have like some discretionary budget, right? So this is money that I think you're just buying, maybe shares, with your financial advisor. Of course, you're just experimenting. Maybe you could even handle it yourself. Maybe open an account on Easy Equities. This is just your investment money that you're comfortable with losing.
Okay.
Right? Okay. That you just.
So it doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be a huge amount.
Doesn't have to be a huge amount. As little as 100 rand a month, I think for this is good enough, right? And then what else do we have? I'm trying to think about what else we have. So
emergency funds.
Yes, so of course, yes, you have to have an emergency fund, right? And how you sort of structure your emergency fund will depend on your expenses, right? So if you were to go without income, how much would you need to run your life, So you will decide how much that amount is for you. Some people structure their emergency funds in such a way where they just need to have enough for 6 months, or they want to have enough for 3 months to live without any extra income coming in. Or you could structure your emergency fund that you contribute to it indefinitely. So some people contribute to it indefinitely. I currently don't put money in my emergency fund indefinitely. I think having 3 months, of worth of expenses for me is enough. And then I put the extra money towards other things, right? And so let's say I do have an emergency, so I'll borrow a little bit money from my emergency fund, but I replace it back.
Turn it back. All right.
Okay.
So that's sort of how I structure my emergency fund, but you can contribute to your own emergency fund indefinitely. And then so now you have a retirement, you have a TFSA, you have a discretionary amount where you're just investing, and then now you have an emergency fund. And then the fifth thing is insurance. Like, insurance is such an important thing, especially if you have a child. Let's say you live in Guyana, you earn that amount that you've said, but you have a child. You need to have life insurance, right? You need to get yourself on policies, or and here's why that's important, right? We never think about the unfortunate event of death. We never think about the unfortunate event of death, but you want to know that your child will be taken care of in the event that you do pass away. And the really great thing about getting things like life insurance when you're still young is that it's cheap, right? And the good, like, people think, but will I get my money back? Like, I'm just I'm throwing money away because I'm gonna die in like 50 years or in 100 years. But the really great thing about life insurance, right, is the fact that you will never contribute more than what you're gonna get out at the end. So even if I were to live 100 years, there's no way my 200 rand a month is gonna end up being 1 million, right? In my lifetime.
It's gonna be more than that.
So think of life insurance as an investment for your child. Just think about life insurance as an investment for your child in the event that you do pass away, or your beneficiaries. And a really great thing is that, especially as we start building assets, right? Let's say you own property on credit, or you own a car, you don't want, in the unfortunate event of death, that if something happens to you now, the things have to get repossessed. You know, that life insurance can now pay your house. You know, so for some people they might seem, oh my goodness, I don't need it yet because I don't have dependents. But some people our age really do have dependents, and you have to like really start thinking about such things in your planning your finances.
With what you're saying, let's go across the country. Snow, hail, is it hail or snow? What?
Yes, hail.
And then I see you, and then and then they wanted to go and claim got the insurance that one, and then insurance we don't cover.
You don't have hailstorm cover.
Yeah. So do you encourage people who are not the financial advisor to that extent? Is it preview or what? To check their review. Exactly, that's the word I wanted. To review their insurances, just to make sure, okay, everything that I'm paying, I'm going to make sure that it covers me.
Yes, definitely. So you can structure, and even sometimes with your banks do have advisory services sometimes, which are actually even free or part of your banking package. So you can walk up to any bank and be like, can I please speak to a financial advisor? And they will let you speak to a financial advisor or a financial planner, whichever one would be available. So I think those are things that you can ask for. Maybe if they don't offer those services, like maybe reviewing your contract, they will tell you who to contact. You understand? And these things, you can be so shocked to find that a lot of these services that we don't make use of are actually free. Really? You don't actually have to pay for, you know, or even if you do have to pay for, it's like a small percentage. Yeah. You know, which is honestly worth, you know, because imagine only finding out yesterday or the day before that you don't have hail cover, but now your windscreen is gone.
You've been paying for 20 years.
And you've been paying for like forever. It is important. It's important to educate yourself. But I think a lot of us are ignorant. Hey, you know, these things are so important, and the Jalako, we are living on like survival basis. Like we're just surviving. As long as I get this 5,000 and I buy food and that's enough.
I'm good.
There's no like insurance, or like something to cover for future or anything. And it's good when you save. Like when security, because even if you know you have a job, you're getting that 18,000 and you're putting something away for yourself besides the UIF or anything that they put for you. You know, even if I get retrenched next month, I can still survive for the next 6 months.
Because these days anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Imagine that COVID-19 time. How many people went through stress and depression because you can just put away some money for yourself, just to put security for yourself. If anything happens, you are covered financially. Because whether you like it or not, money is alive.
And money, guys, money will give you confidence. And I wish this wasn't the case. But when you have money, you are glowing. You don't have stress. Everything, guys, is just like, sometimes you think it's depression. It's not depression.
It's
not. You just don't have money. You just have money.
And then you get money in, you feel like, okay, suddenly you're okay, suddenly you're right. Like you're starving. But even when you have money and you feel hungry, just like, I'll eat. It's not like it's important.
You don't even think about food. You're like, what time is it? I haven't eaten today. Oh my word. Let me order something.
Okay. So I think maybe we're just going to have like some follow-up questions. But for now, let's just play a game.
Okay.
So it'll be like, how do you even introduce the game? I don't even know the name of the game. But this is how it works. You only one word, guys, not 2 words. Only one word.
One.
I say a word, you say a word, and it has to be a sentence, and it has to make sense.
And it has to make sense.
Has to make sense. Okay, yes. I'm ready.
So only a word, and I'll start, and it continues just like that.
Okay, who's starting?
I'm starting.
Okay.
Yesterday,
I
was
walking
around
my
house
because
I
was
scared
of
the
dog
and
I
laughed
about
the
crazy
because
no.
You know why this game is so funny? Because you're thinking of what you were gonna say,
and
and
then
that's what
that's just what happened. Okay, I failed, ne?
Yeah, somehow. Yes, man.
Oh my god.
Or maybe
Are we starting over?
maybe we can start over.
Round 2, ne?
Oh,
Okay.
good.
Who start? You can start
So
this time.
it's
Okay.
0-1-1.
Ah!
So the
Guys.
one with the lowest gives us the motivation of the day.
Oh my
If you have the
God.
lowest points, you give us the motivation of the day.
Okay. I
Okay.
think that's fair.
Yeah,
Let's
I
go.
wanna work hard right now. My
So you're starting.
my
So I go next, eh? Okay.
my
Name
Is
Ripumelo
from
Gianni.
section
E.
I
was
Today years old.
one word. You lost.
Yes!
I have 2. Okay, so I have 2 points.
Okay. Oh my god.
Alright,
You're starting.
so
You
that
are
can-
So this is the final round, eh?
Yeah, this is the final round.
Okay, so I'm starting. Hello,
I
am
Kenzie,
from
Gianni
section
A
in
Limpopo.
province.
You waited for the longest
No,
time.
but it makes sense.
You are out. You
But it
are
makes
out.
sense.
You are out. Is she not out?
I'm
She's
not.
Out.
I don't know,
Limpopo
you talk
province.
She waited forever.
But it makes
It
sense.
has to be fast. It has to be fast.
Yeah.
Okay, you
But you
didn't.
waited
Okay,
for
you
the-
didn't make that out. Okay.
So how many
Okay.
points? So it's 2
I
points.
still have 2 points. We'll continue.
How many
We're
points do you
starting
have?
over. I have 0.
So you're the motivation of the day.
Oh my god.
Oh, so the game is over.
Yeah, we had 3 rounds. I think there's 3 of us.
All right.
Or was there more? I don't know.
No,
You
it's
tell me.
fine.
Guys.
Yeah, so you're coming with the motivation of the day.
Like right on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not allowed to Google Nyana.
No. Tell us about what's speaking to your spirit right now.
What's speaking to my spirit right now? Hey! I'm Wayne. Okay. Are you sure I'm not gonna cry?
Okay.
Okay. Motivation of the day, guys. There's a story about my biggest financial lesson. All right. So I didn't go. I am someone who saves a lot, but then most of the times I tend to save, but then after a while, Malilian need Teresa useless things. For me to say that. So let's guys done that now. Okay, my takeaway from what we have been talking about today.
Yeah.
It's from now on I must look into my finances. So where I save, is it beneficiary? Is it going to take me for a long while? Is it going to sustain me for the time period that I'm saving for?
Yeah.
Because okay, kuna save, kuna kuba stingy. So today I feel like I found out that I'm just stingy. So my motivation is just that, guys. Find yourself. Are you saving or you're just stingy? And if you find that you are stingy, make a plan to go to the saving side and save for or invest for future and everything that you want to do. Invest, save for anything, emergency and everything that you are saying. Just make sure that you save. Thank you.
So with me, guys, I spend money. Honestly, I spend money. That's one thing you have to know about me, especially when it comes to food. I'd rather use my last money. That is, I done for something. I'd rather use that money for food. So what's your advice on that, Kenzie? For some of us, are just like, might just go. We just go.
Yeah.
What's your advice on us? Because I spend, you guys. I spend, and I'm not on expensive things, just food.
Yeah. So I think it's like also like reevaluating your value system, right? Spending on food is not a bad thing. It's a bad thing if it's not your highest priority, right? Someone wants to be a chef or like a professional taster.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense if it's like one of your highest priorities to spend on
something of value
that are of value to you. And things of value to me are not the same. So I can't just say iPhones are not of value or this, that, or the other is not of value. Is it of value to you, right? So you have to first reevaluate, is food that important for me?
All
right? Once you determine that, then you can start to say, okay, maybe it's not so important for me. X, Y, Z is more important for me. But because X, Y, Z is more important, I'm going to channel my money more towards that, right? And so you start giving yourself limits to say, okay, I can eat out 3 times a week, right? Or I can eat out only on, but don't give yourself harsh limits that you can't actually realistically manage, right? Yeah. But you can set realistic limits, or maybe you can say every week I'm only gonna spend 500 rand on takeouts.
All right.
If you've already spent your maximum for that week, you don't spend more. If you maybe underspend, then it's a reward for the next month to say for the next week to say, okay, because I didn't spend that much last week, I can spend a little more this week. Yeah. So I think it's about setting yourself weekly limits. Or, just reevaluating. If it's something that's really important for you, don't feel guilty for something that's really important to you. For me, one thing that I don't judge myself for spending too much on is books, right? If I am traveling, if I am at an airport, if I find myself at a bookshop, I am buying a book. It's a problem, but I feel like I've given myself that level of grace to say this is something that's really important to me. So that my spending on knowledge or on expanding myself is unlimited.
But it is of value.
So I give myself that grace. That's the one area. So for you have to have an area of grace where you're like, you know what? My spending on this thing is unlimited. It doesn't matter whether the budget is like it's not willing. This for me is something that's really important because it brings a lot of value to my life. And value doesn't have to mean it's something that's groundbreaking, and it's actually something it really makes me happy, right? So you should give yourself
food makes you happy.
So if food makes you happy and that's like for you a high priority and it's not something that's making you feel bad, right? So if at the end of buying that food you feel bad, then maybe you need to reevaluate. Because maybe it's something that you're not proud of or you're not happy about. So then you need to change. But if really it makes you happy and it's something that's healthy for you, go for it. I'd say go for it. Full force.
Food and traveling. Food and traveling, that's one thing.
Yeah. Because a lot of us, what we get into now? You find that you will never plan, maybe once a month, you're not planning an outing with friends, or you're not going to Kruger, that's just here, next door to us. But you're spending 3K on McDonald's every month. So you say in your mind, I don't have money for traveling, but actually, you do. You're just spending it on buying takeout. Yeah. So if that is the case where traveling is a higher priority for you and spending time with friends is a higher priority, then you need to reevaluate. Like, actually, I can actually put that money towards something that's actually gonna make me feel good and make my life more fulfilling. If you really love fashion, right? And you're finding, oh my goodness, I'm spending a lot more on takeout. How about we buy one day's takeout a week and you promise yourself an outfit every month? So you just have to figure out what is of value to you and what makes you feel good.
Okay. I take the lesson.
So what are you gonna do? Like what with that thought, like, do you still feel like buying takeout or buying food? Even though it's something that you love, is it still like a high priority, or like, what does that look like for you?
It still is, because at some point I was thinking and I was like, actually, I'm over KFC, I'm over McDonald's, but I still crave food. I feel like I want something. Something new, as long as it's food, something delicious, but not KFC, not Steers, not something new. And I'll find myself maybe sometimes driving to to Tondo, to Woolies to get something, maybe mac and cheese, some kind of things, you see? Because I'm craving for food and I want something delicious and I'm over what's here.
Yeah.
So I don't know, maybe I'm just prioritizing things that are valueless, but it's not value because it makes me happy.
It makes you happy. So I think, where you feel bad, Nick, is if you, let's say, buy KFC 5 times, right? But you want to make things like that into an experience where you promise yourself every Sunday, I'm going to eat out. It will be something for you to look forward to, and it's an experience that you feel like you're getting the value out of your money, because you want to get value out of your money and building not just because going to KFC drive-through is not like an experience as such, right? But if you decide, oh my goodness, every Sunday I'm going to go to a new restaurant. Now it becomes an experience and you're getting more value than the actual amount you're gonna pay, right? Because it's a whole experience. You're taking pictures, you're dressing up, you're feeling good, you're happy. Whereas you won't dress up to go and sit at the drive past the drive-through. But if you build experiences into how you spend your money, your money is 10 times more valuable.
True, hey?
In that way, because you are amplifying the value of your money.
I think.
Are you good with that?
Food.
I mean, are you good with what she just told you?
Yeah, because it is an experience. Because imagine you're driving from here to town, it's just like a road trip. And I won't go to Woolies only. I'll also go to some other places. So it's just like an experience. It's like a mini trip, but strictly for food, for mac and cheese.
And along the way, you're playing music, you are
You
happy.
see? Yes.
You are content with what you're doing.
I'm content with what I'm doing, and it feels like okay, life is good. And I feel like if maybe I don't need something nice. I feel like what's going on with me? It's so bad.
But then I think the bad part of it's when you feel like, the way I'm eating too much, I'm gaining weight and stuff. That's when you need to check it out. Yeah. And you always tell me, bruh, I eat a lot. Oh, my weight. Oh.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I go to gym, but I still eat. Because I can't stop eating, guys. I can't stop eating. So I rather go to gym, maybe just to burn a bit of calories here and there, but I still.
But I think what we do, you and I, is just to ease our conscience, because we know we are eating a roti and it's not good for our bodies or weight. But then we go to gym just to ease our conscience. Okay. I did that at least.
But you guys, I was like on the. I think it was maybe early last year, right? I was on the bigger side of my weight,
Okay.
And this one guy told me, you know what, if I were a woman, right, I would literally prioritize making sure that I'm maintaining my weight, right? And he would say I would invest a lot in how I look. I'd always make sure I look good. And guys, I took his words. He was telling me from the perspective of I'm giving you advice, because you see a lot of women sort of not prioritize themselves and their bodies and their look, but that will give you so much confidence and it's gonna pay off in other ways, right? And he was saying, especially when you're dating, right, maybe you and your partner are eating out a lot.
Yes.
His body as a man is not the same as your body as a woman. The best thing you can do for yourself, as he told me, he was giving me real life advice now. It's the best thing you can do for yourself is not eat as much as he's eating, your boyfriend. Because your body is not gonna process that the same way. Because after 5 years, after 10 years, you're gonna look at your body and not recognize who you're seeing in the mirror.
Exactly.
And his body probably wouldn't have changed that much, right? Because our bodies are just not the same. So as women, we really need to, and it's a difficult thing. I struggle with this as well. We really need to take our diet seriously.
Really?
I think it's the battle between me and my twin. My
so
twin
serious,
eats a lot
guys.
and her body doesn't change. Mina!
Okay.
And I always eat a lot when I'm with her. Mara, she doesn't gain.
She's always like that.
Look at me.
The one who gets
Look at me.
Because, guys, and I see a lot of these videos online where women are really schooling us, or if you observe wealthier women, right, or women who are very successful, you find a lot of times that they also invest a lot into their health, right? Because someone was actually, a mentor of mine was actually telling me this. He was like to me, it doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't have the body to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
Because money is always only nice if you are fit
if
enough to go and spend it.
Yes.
Guys, if you are like overweight or you're not really taking care of your body, you're not healthy.
You won't enjoy anything.
You will not enjoy your money. And you will not enjoy your hard work.
Your doctors are telling you must not eat what and what.
Yeah. So
you're not going.
You wanna be fit. Mabati, you know there's this cruise ship, but first you have to crawl through a cave and hike 5 kilometers, and then the cruise ship will be waiting. You wanna be able to be fit enough for those type of experiences.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh
like guys,
God.
when he told me this, I felt so offended. You know, when that guy told me, because I was feeling a bit overweight at the time, right? And I mean, I'm still not at my like ideal fitness level, but it just woke me up to the fact that I have to be conscious about what I put in my body, because because the thing about weight, it's so funny, because if you let it go for a while, it becomes so much harder to pull yourself back. It becomes so much harder. But if it's like an everyday thing that you do, then you can sort of manage it, you know. But like guys, having to lose weight, and you find yourself like, I've gained like a lot of weight, having to lose that weight, that's a mission. That's a real
and
mission.
it requires consistency.
It does. Hey, it can. I feel when it comes to diet, I can go to gym, but
if there's one thing I'm failing in my life, it's diet.
But diet isn't punishing yourself.
But how? Yeah, maybe just with a dietitian to get the right things. Because some of us would just feel like when you're on diet, it's just like stuffing yourself.
Thank you, exactly.
And it's not that. So you just need like a professional dietitian, because I think it goes with your blood type and stuff and whole those bunch of things. So your diet cannot go with mine. So you just need like a professional person who's gonna examine you and give you the right and best things that can work for you.
Personally, I don't do those things where they're like, you should be no carbs, you know, whatever. But I try to be conscious about what I'm consuming, right? And there are times where like maybe my younger brother is very good at telling me something is not working here, right? And when he tells me that, I actually don't feel offended, right? I catch myself, I'm like, oh my goodness, this week I'm gonna be really watching for the next couple of weeks what I actually eat, because guys, it can get out of hand so quickly. Now all of a sudden every day you're eating takeout. You're not eating at home. But something as simple as eating home cooked meals can literally change your diet. True. It's hard, but it's like, guys, when he gave me that piece of advice, I was like, wow,
your body is not going to process this food the same way guys' bodies process food. So it was just coming from a place of love or caring, or mind what you take in.
Guys, have you guys, like, I'm always scared of, like, you know, when you look at those couples where, guys, I don't know, something about men, they just don't age like us, guys.
Never.
They don't age like us. And have you ever looked at that couple like, is she his mother or like his older sister? What's going on here? But really, guys, it's because as women, we pour ourselves so much into the family that we forget to take care of ourselves, which doesn't happen in certain communities. Like, guys, if you look at, this is the only reference I have, right? And I'm sure there are a lot of black women who do really take care of themselves, but I see a lot of investments from a lot of the white older women I've observed. They take exercising so seriously. They take their diet so seriously. That's why you find like an elderly woman or a woman in her mid years, she's like managing her weight really well, and she looks good,
and
she's
so fit,
and she's fit, and she's comfortable. Because the thing that also happens when you don't really take care of your body, now clothes don't fit. Now you feel like you don't look nice
and
in
the
any
confidence
clothes.
goes
And the confidence goes down, right?
Yeah.
And you're not able to actually pour realistically into your relationship, right? Positively, because you're feeling so terrible.
And you become insecure
about everything.
when your man looks at
when
another
you wear
girl, like,
something.
oh, so now you want my bunyo, now I'm level and stuff. Just because you're fat, and now you like you don't. Now you have a vast plan of body.
Sometimes this it takes your confidence down.
So it's really not like a mean way of saying we should watch, you know, we should body watch and body shame. But it's really like, having that confidence in your body,
yourself,
but because you know you're working towards yourself. And like the thing I find about exercising, it's not even about how you end up looking, right? It's about like the confidence, just the good hormones that it gives you. Like you just feel so good, like you can conquer the world.
And there are a lot of benefits that come from exercising.
I think it happens to everyone. Like you can like for a while, but then the day you go back, it's a 6 pack. After stopping for a while, I see some 6 packs, and my energy level will be up there. I'll be so confident. And I'll be.
And there are just a lot of confidence, or maybe a lot of benefits that comes with exercising. A lot of them. It helps you in terms of your skin, how you perform every day, even if your mind.
Exactly,
because it just clears your mind and a whole bunch of things.
Yeah, also, it's not for other people though. Like, although now we won't look like you're his older sister, you look like you're his partner.
And yes, like a good normal partner to him.
Yes, so it's not about him really. It's really about yourself. You know, it's
how
about
you
yourself
feel
and how you feel. Guys, there's nothing like a confident woman. Right, because you're not placing the responsibility of your happiness and on him constantly affirming you and saying you're beautiful, you look good. And from him, you putting it on yourself. You're taking responsibility for how you look.
Thank you.
Okay, this is the conversation that you need to hear as a woman. And how did we even divert from financial stuff to this?
We took a digital.
I was thinking about that as well.
Okay. I think we've come to the end of our episode, and it was a very good one. We hope you guys actually learned something. Don't forget, like, educate yourself when it comes to finances, guys. Finances is not just getting a salary, paying your car, paying stuff, debit orders, and you left with 2,000 and that's not life. That is not life. But actually, we forgot one thing. Maybe someone has like a salary. You know how people have salaries and they have a lot of things to pay? How can one, I don't know whether they can improvise or maybe double their salary or something? Maybe you can advise on terms of businesses. Maybe if I'm getting this 18,000 and I have a lot of things to pay, how can I double that salary? Or maybe and I get another income. How can one do that?
Sure, that's a tough question, and now I want the answer. If you find the answer,
no way.
But really, guys, like I think a lot of people say
maybe people feel like salary is not enough. I just need like another money.
Something
maybe not
on the side.
Maybe not more. But after paying the car, whatever expenses that are there, I'm just left with 2,000. Maybe if I can get like extra 5,000, I'll survive for the month.
Yeah. I think like side hustles are very important. Even if you have a job, it's so important to have a side hustle to gain that little bit of extra income, because we know the way the economy is going, things are not cheap. You can't survive on one income. So really trying, whatever it is, even if it's like a cleaning service, anything creative that you already do or that you already have the skills and resources for. So it shouldn't be something that you necessarily be something that you go and buy equipment for. It could be something that you already do, or you already have the equipment lying around at home. So
take that side hustle. Whatever side hustle, whether you sell Shane stuff, you sell Tupperware, you sell containers, you sell whatever, as long as it brings you extra money up a part or maybe from your income, that can work. Because one salary in this economy is not giving.
Not doing it.
Bye.